Welcome to the Personal Trainer Hustle. Personal Trainer Hustle. If you didn't know, you do now.
All right, welcome back to the Personal Trainer Hustle. It's been a little while, but we're back, and I am glad to be back, and we're going to jump right into a Q&A. So we're going to be answering a listener question that was sent in a little while ago. I will email you to let you know that today's episode was dropped so you know that your question was answered. So I'm going to pull the question up here. So today's episode is a question sent in by listener named Kirsten L. So Kirsten's question is, how would you structure the beginning of a consultation for a new member who is not aware that we will be talking to them about personal training? Our front desk staff doesn't explain to them what the consultation is for when they schedule it, and people get caught off guard by this. Okay, this is a great question because this is something that is so common. I know that I've had to deal with this in the past. This is something that when you work usually at a big gym where there's a lot of memberships happening, people coming in and out, you have your training department, you have your membership department. My first job was at a Bally Total Fitness, and we actually also had the training department, which was upstairs, and the membership department, which was downstairs. And so this would happen to us a lot, right? So, number one, the first obvious thing that I would say to this is hopefully you can communicate this and have some type of understanding, communication, or system that you go through. But if not, I actually have another episode. So once this episode is done, have it in your notes or come back to the very beginning. But remember this episode number 48 is titled, Should Personal Trainers Sell More Gym Memberships? So I actually did an episode about the time that I actually took over the membership sales for a day and realized that I was better at selling the memberships because I was selling the results and the training before the membership. So if you go and listen to that episode, I'm pretty sure I tell the story where there was no trainers on staff, and I mean there was no membership salesmen on staff. And so what happened is somebody called me down and said, "Hey, can you take this person through the gym to sell them a membership?" And so what I did is I went into my personal training questions and my personal training consultation type of thing. And I walked them to the gym, but I was also talking to them about fitness. And they ended up, so you need to listen to the episode because I'm sure I give a lot more advice and details and things you can do. But the summary of it is the person was so excited to train with me that they got the membership just because they had to. So they got the membership and then they got the training because they were really excited about the training. So I think that episode would be a great resource for the situation that you're in if you haven't already listened to it. Obviously, if you're listening to PT Hustle, you may have already listened to this episode. So that would be one of the first things that I would do. So now getting all of that stuff out of the way, we're going to get into a little bit more how I may, address this situation when somebody comes in. They're not aware that they're going to do a consultation with you. They're not aware they're going to sit down. They don't know that they're going to be pitched personal training. And it's a very uncomfortable situation to be in. And I 100% understand that. The first thing I'm going to say is that number one, and this again goes for everybody, we need to stop thinking about this as a presentation for personal training. And what we need to do is shift our mindset to this is for me to help you as much as possible. Okay. So when you make that mental shift and you say, you know what, I'm here to help this individual, it's not going to be weird because most people want the help. They seek the help from a professional. But today I'm going to keep it just super practical. I'm going to actually just give you some of the things that I would prepare and do for this situation. So the number one thing that you want to do in order to be prepared for this situation is number one. I don't know what order I want to put this in, but you have to have a series of elements that go into health and fitness. Okay. Now, right now, I'm just talking about the preparation that goes into this. Okay. So the preparation is you actually having a great consultation that you're going to take this person to. Now, I get that right now we're not answering your question yet, but I will. I'm going to give you actually a pitch that I would use. So I will give you very practical advice. But in order for all of this to work, you have to first be prepared to have this conversation with someone. So the first thing that we're going to do is I need you to really sit down and think about all of the elements that go into getting fitter, getting results, gaining muscle, losing body fat. Okay. Because the issue that we have, and I have other episodes for a lot of you guys finding the podcast now, you should go back on either Spotify or Apple podcast or any podcast um, uh, that's available for you. Go back and listen from the beginning because a lot of these things we've covered individually and independently, right? So we've talked a lot about consultation, different questions you can use in your consultation, different methods you can use in your consultation. So I suggest you go back and listen from the beginning and take the whole podcast almost like a course in personal training, selling personal training, building your personal training clients, right? So that would be very important because I can't cover everything today. There's already other episodes that are going to help you with the consultation itself. But for today's purpose, you have to think that most personal trainers, we only think about fitness as they're here to sign up for personal training. What that means is that I'm going to show them a workout. They're going to love the workout. It's harder than what they can do on their own. It's more motivating than what they can do on their own. And it's more creative than when they can do on their own, right? I have them doing all these crazy workouts. It's fun. I'm high fiving them. And I'm just hoping that this person likes the training. And so when you think about training like that, then when it comes for them to have that consultation with you that they weren't aware of course it's going to be uncomfortable because they didn't sign up to try personal training, right? So what I'm trying to get you to understand is think about it a little bit differently. Make a list, right? And I'm going to give you some examples of what I mean right now, but make a list of all the parts that may be in the way of a person achieving their results, right? So for example, category 1, nutrition, right? Do does this person know what they should be eating, how much protein, how many carbs, how much water they should be consuming, what foods they may be eating that are affecting their results, the times of day that they're eating that may be affecting their results, right? The lack of certain nutrients that may be affecting their results, right? So now we have a whole category, a whole bunch of topics under the main category of nutrition and diet, right? We can talk about water, we can talk about coffee, we can talk about sugary drinks, we can talk about the amount of protein you're consuming, right? We can talk about supplementation, right? There's a whole category of the things that we're consuming. That's one part of fitness. But then there's the other part, right? The awareness of weightlifting. So now you have another category. What are different things that we can talk about when it comes to exercise? Do they know the difference between doing endurance based strength training, hypertrophy, and strength, right? So each one of those things is a different way to train. And you make a list of all the things that we can talk about. We can talk about split routines. We can talk about full body training. We can talk about posterior chain training. We can talk about rehabilitation training, right? So that's a whole nother category. Another category, injuries, injury prevention, stability and mobility, right? Are people mobile? Are they aware that there's a certain range of motion that they should be functioning within? So you have another category of conversation to have. What else, right? Stress management. How stressed somebody is affects how their hormones react. It affects how many results or how much result they're going to get from their new fitness routine. Consistency, duration, right? What's the optimal amount of time to work out? What's the a proper intensity to work out? And on we can go. We can talk about sleep as well, right? We can talk about how much people are sleeping, the quality of sleep, how do we monitor sleep, why is sleep affecting them? So, okay, I've gone on and on. Now I'm giving you those, and you can still take time to think of other conversational points to have around fitness. Why am I making this point? Why am I asking you to have a list of all the talking points? Because now all of the things we talked about have nothing to do with the workout that you're doing. It has nothing to do with whether you did squats or lunges or jumping jacks or battle ropes, right? That's just the workout. Again, I'm trying to get you guys to move away from selling the fitness to, and this is the point of this list, the first thing that we have to change is the mindset with which we go into talking to this individual, right? You're going to have a lot more confidence if you have structure to your consultation, if you have a meaning to the consultation, right? Think about all the things that I went over right now. Any of you guys listening would be down to sit down and talk about it, right? We would have a dialogue about what has worked for you, what you did for your shoulder, what I did for my shoulder, how I like to split my routine, how you like to. So you see, it's just conversation that we're having with someone, and it makes it a lot more comfortable. And even within trainers, if we had conversations around these subjects, we would be open to having them because we would attain something from the other trainer, right? So if I sat down with you and said, "Hey, let's talk about nutrition. How do you break down your proteins? How do you reach your protein goals? How do you do the math for your protein? How do you do the math for your protein intake based on your weight and on your goals and on the style of training that you are involved in, or the period of time that you're in the gym working out or whatever?" And we would have a dialogue, and I may learn something from you and you may learn something from me. Now, I'm not selling you training, but I am having a conversation about fitness. Now, if this would work in a conversation between two trainers, it's also going to work between a conversation between a trainer and a potential customer. Why? Because this is about exchanging information, and anybody would be happy to walk away with some information that's going to help them get results. The issue that we have when we're selling training is we're focused on the workouts, we're focused on them signing up, but we forget that we have to have a reason for them to sign up. We have to give them so much value that they want to know more. Now, I've done other episodes about this, but like, when you sometimes it feels like it may backfire because you feel like, well, if I tell them everything, well, then they're just going to take that information and run with it. What I'll say to that is they weren't going to sign up anyway, right? So the best chance that you can give yourself is to give them that information. Now, here's the thing. You're not going to be able to cover everything. That's the beauty of having such a long list of things to talk about, is that we're going to talk about just a few things and see where they're at, see how much they know, see how much they don't know, see how receptive they are to this information. And from there, you can say, hey, you know what? The consultation is only this long, but we are going to go ahead and I'm going to show you these rates because I want to show you the plans that we have available. And if you want to continue to work on your nutrition, to figure out the protein intake, to figure out the workouts, to figure out plateaus, that's another conversation to have, right? Plateauing is a great conversation to have with someone, because talking about plateaus lets them know that eventually the workout needs to change. And a personal trainer, that's one of the best places for personal trainers to sell training, is to show them, hey, I'm going to show you how to get beyond plateaus so that you don't get stuck in your fitness routine. That's a very important thing to talk about as well. So you see how the preparation is so important, because it allows you to have flexibility in your conversation and where you're going to go with it, right? So that's just preparation. That's just having a good, solid consultation. I know that's not exactly the question we're going to get into, but it is part of it, because without a good consultation, you may be feeling the pressure, not so much because they're doing a bad job of telling them what the consultation is, but simply that your consultation is not deep enough, that you don't have enough resources to tap into when you meet someone. And so not only is the consultation already a little bit um chunky, I guess, right? It's a little bit um unstable, right? It's a little bit lacking. Not only is your consultation not that great to begin with, but now we're adding the element, which is in the question, right? The element of not of them also being surprised by this situation that they find themselves in. So this is the next part of this, right? Again, like I said in the beginning, first, you should try to have more communication between the departments in your gym. That would be the best, right? But even then, the department would also have to develop a good presentation to present the consultation as well. I didn't make any notes to talk about that today. Maybe we can make another episode about that. But there has to be a system, right? A lot of us don't realize that most things have to be systematic. I've said this in episodes in the past, but nothing happens by accident. Not even where you sit, right? And a lot of people think that that's so funny, but I always say, even where I sit during a consultation was thought out. When I present something was thought out. Avoiding saying something was thought out. It was not by accident that I talked about nutrition before sleep. It's not by accident that I didn't talk about protein. It's not by accident that I took you and showed you how foam rolling. It's all part of the cadence and the practice that I've developed, because it all should be leading somewhere, right? So it's not by accident. I always say that. So if you are going to talk to the department, then the membership department has to, hopefully with the personal trainer, have a presentation where they make them excited to show up for the consultation. But the reality is, most membership salespeople just worry about getting the membership. Unfortunately, a lot of us are not good at selling, and including the gym membership salespeople. And so what happens is they too are overwhelmed with simply getting them to pay 50, 60, $80 a month. And so when they close the deal, they're happy that that happened. They're not there to keep talking with that person, right? It's an overwhelming situation for them as well. And so it has to be a very good salesperson to be able to sell the membership and sell the consultation or the training. If any of you guys sell memberships, like I said, you should listen to episode number 48. But also, if you sell memberships, your goal should be to be good enough to sell a membership and a training package, not just the membership, right? So I would say challenge yourself to be good enough to do both, because they go hand in hand. At the end of the day, all people are purchasing is the results, the hope, the dreams, the confidence, the emotions, the anxiety release, right? They're working out for other reasons. And so if you know why people sign up for a gym membership, you also know why they would sign up for a class, why they would sign up for martial arts, why they would sign up for personal training, right? It all stems from usually very deep rooted emotional things that we either desire or things we want to avoid, right? So we either desire a certain life or we want to avoid a certain life. And working out and results are simply the thing that we need in order to have the other things, right? So being fit isn't enough on its own, but what being fit represents and the opportunities that it gives us and the confidence and the things that confidence give us, that's the deeper reasons why people want all of these things. And so if you can start thinking like that, you're going to have a way better understanding of how to sell your training, how to present your training, how to do a consultation, how to explain it to people. So getting back to the point, um, the next thing, very, very important, right? Second thing we're going to talk about today is not only that do you have a list of things to talk about and ask them about their fitness, right? Because I think I forgot to say that, but these are all going to be phrased as questions. Tell me about your fitness routine, right? Tell me about your nutrition. And then I'm going to go deeper based on their answers, right? What about protein? You're going to need this much protein for this. You're going to need this many carbs for this. You do need to have fat in your diet for this purpose, right? So as I talk to them, the point of the consultation is, and the reason for this, before I move on, the reason for all of this that you need to understand is it's to find the gaps in knowledge. That's really why people are going to buy personal training. If you have enough topics, enough elements, enough categories of fitness to talk about, inevitably people are going to have gaps in their knowledge, gaps in their discipline, gaps in their dietary awareness or habits, right? They're going to have gaps. We all have gaps somewhere. And so, somebody that's just starting to go to the gym, they're going to have gaps in their fitness routine, awareness, habits, discipline, knowledge. There's going to be gaps. And so, as you have this consultation, this conversation, when you begin to point out the gaps in their knowledge, those are the reasons why people are going to sign up. So when somebody says, "Oh, I don't know how much water I drink. I don't know how much I'm supposed to drink." Oh, that is where a personal trainer would be very beneficial to you. If we don't get that right, you're not going to get the results that you want. And you can say that and use that for any category. If I was doing a consultation, tell me about your routine. Do you do, isolation movements, compound movements? Do you lean more towards hypertrophy training, endurance training, right? Based on the results you're going to get, how do you structure your personal routine? And they're going to look at you like, I just lift usually like 10 reps, bicep curls. Okay. So tell me a little bit more. What do you do for your shoulders? What do you do for your lats? What do you do for your quads? What do you do for your glutes? And the point of having all these categories is to get them to realize they could use a lot of help. And so when they don't know, you're going to say, okay, oh, no problem. It's because usually the results come from doing more compound movements, especially since you want to lose weight, da 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 da. And so, again, that's one of the reasons why a personal trainer can help you fill those gaps. And now the person will begin to see and understand that it's not just about working out, it's about understanding what they should do and about how much more the trainer has to offer than just putting them through a workout, right? So that's why I had to make this point before we start, because that's how you sell training. The second thing, honesty is the best policy. So, for this question, right? What do I do? It's uncomfortable. They're not ready for this. The best thing to do is to be honest about the situation, right? So when they come in, and this is something that I use at my gym, something that all of us, the trainers, the manager, everybody makes sure to learn at my gym and to apply to the best of their abilities. And it's this: you have to walk people through what's going to happen. There shouldn't be surprises along the way. So when somebody sits down across from you, the best thing you can do is put them at ease by talking about the elephant in the room. Okay? So the first thing I would say is, "Hey, welcome to your consultation." A lot of people, they're not aware that this is part of their membership. So I just wanted to let you know this is just part of your membership. It's something that we give to every person, da 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 da. And now you have put them at ease because they know that they didn't know, right? They know that this is all weird to them. So if you lead with that and you let them know, hey, a lot of people sometimes I'm not, or you can ask them, oh, did they tell you about today? Did they tell you about the consultation? No, they didn't. I don't know. I don't know what this is for. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Sometimes that happens. Let me tell you about the consultation. And now you explain what's going to happen. This is a huge, huge mistake that a lot of us make when we're selling training is we just begin, right? Oh, okay. Hi, how is it going? Good. Okay. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about your goals. uh I want to lose weight. And then they're like, I don't know what's happening here. Right. But if you stop and you tell them, hey, this is part of your membership. It's comp, it's a comp training session and consultation, or however you want to phrase it, right? I wouldn't even say it's a training session depending on the situation, because they might not be here to work out with you. But I would say this is part of your membership. Every person that signs up here gets this conversation with a personal trainer, and then tell them the purpose of it, right? So now we're getting into the meat of it, right? So the first thing I would do is talk about the elephant room. This is the consultation. It comes with your membership, and then tell them the point of it, right? And also, if you want, you can recognize that sometimes they don't know that this is happening. It's going to put them at ease, right? So if it was me, I'm just going to give you a real example of how I would say it. I would say, "Hey, Jane, welcome. I know I'm not sure if they told you about today. It's a consultation, and it's a free consultation. It's part of your membership. There's no commitment necessary to anything else. It's just a way for us as trainers to provide you with more answers to your fitness, to routine. If you haven't worked out in a gym, or if you haven't, figured out how to eat for your results, or if you have any injuries, right? Today, I want to ask you some questions and give you the opportunity to ask me some questions, so that once you start working out at our gym, you're going to have as much information as you need in order to get the best results that you can get out of your membership, okay?" And I would say something like that, where it's just I'm trying to be as real and honest with my conversation as possible, and I'm just going to tell them, like, this is what it's for. It's for you to ask questions. I'm going to ask you some questions, but I also want you to ask questions, because There's a lot of questions around working out. There's a lot of questions around how much weight to do, how many repetitions to do, if you have any injuries or pains or anything like that, right? There's a lot of questions. And if you guys haven't noticed, something that I do in my examples, because this is really how I talk to them, is sometimes when I'm not sure, I lead with a few topics of conversation, right? So I'll throw it out there as bait for them to see, like, oh, yeah, that does ring a bell with me, right? So again, like I just said, I would say, there's a lot of questions around how many repetitions to do, what muscles to work out, if you're going to do lower body or upper body, if you should be doing 10 reps or 12 repetitions, what machines to use, if you should be doing, upper body, lower body, if you should be doing full body, right? So, and then I just finished my set. So there's a lot of things to talk about, is usually what I would say. So for you, and then I just lead into my questions. So for you, tell me a little bit about your goals and maybe some areas that you need some help with. And now that person realizes, number one, oh, I'm going to get some information here. I should take advantage of this and ask them those questions that I've been dying to ask, or those things that I've been embarrassed, or those things that, I've heard, but I'm not sure about. When you let them know this is what it's for, right? This is for you to finally get answers to some of those things maybe you've been hearing, or maybe you tried something in the past and it didn't work. Maybe you're trying to figure out why, right? So, again, notice what I'm doing. I'm leading the conversation by letting them know there's so many things about getting fit, so many things about health, so many things about injuries, so many things about, flexibility, so many things about your age range, so many different things about fitness, that what we do is we provide you with an opportunity to talk with one of us and let us try to give you those answers so you are set on the right path. And now with that, you're giving yourself the best chance at them wanting to participate in this conversation, right? And then you go from there, right? So I think I covered everything. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So that's pretty much the way to address it, right? So I hope that that's helpful. I'm trying to keep today's episode a little short, you guys, but I wanted to get right to the point with this conversation. You want to address every element, right? Something that, and this is just true for all sales, something that everyone needs to learn to do is to explain the process along the way, and explain it clearly, and accurately. So if I was to meet you, I would say, hey, I'm Sam. I've been training for, 13 plus years. I host the podcast Personal Trainer Hustle. And what I do is I answer personal trainers' questions when it comes to their fitness careers, their personal training sales, things that happen to personal trainers along the way, how to get clients, how to keep clients, how to renew clients, things along those lines. So, if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask me. I know sometimes when you start as a personal trainer, it can be a little confusing, right? So if I was meeting you for the first time, I would establish I've been doing this for a while and my job is to help you get answers to your questions. And so that would put you at ease. It would, number one, let you know this is a person with some type of authority. Number two, he's just saying, hey, I'm here to help and answer some questions. And so hopefully that person asks a question. Now, once that person asks a question, you're set. Now it's just about going through the motions, talking about their goals, talking about what has held them back. Again, that's why I said it's a lot of it has to do with the quality of your consultation. Do you have good questions to ask them, or is your consultation just, what are your goals? Do you have any injuries? Okay, let me take you through burpees, mountain climbers, battle ropes, squats, overhead press, right? You're just jumping into a workout without knowing what it is that they were looking for. If you can be helpful, you can still take them through a workout, but your workout is going to be in line with their goals, and your conversations around the workouts are going to be in line with their goals. So now, once you're teaching them how to squat, you're going to say, see, you see how you said that you had the tight lower back when you did squats on your own? This is what's going to alleviate that. And they're going to go, oh, wow, I really, yeah, I see that now. And they're going to trust you. And this is the importance of gaining their trust, right? The only way to gain trust is to have honest conversation and to give them real value during that consultation. And then at the end, you're going to ask them for something. And if you've done a good enough job, they're going to want to continue. So at the end of this process, when you've had a real conversation about what they need from you, when you've done your best to provide them with good information and the value that a personal trainer brings, the final step now is simply to ask for the sale. So once you're done with everything, you can say, you know what? I hope you got some value from today. I really try to help you out. You'll be on your way. But and then you say, but I really think that you would benefit a lot from personal training because we could do this and learn more things, cover more things, and really keep you accountable. You said that you had trouble with consistency. A trainer can hold you accountable. So, again, right, I'm giving you guys such a crash course in this. But something that I just realized as I was saying this is, and this is like for those of you guys that are real sharp, you're going to get this and apply it. So get this and listen to this, apply this. You're going to at the end, right? So what's the point of this whole conversation? It's to be helpful, but I forgot to mention the second part. The second part is you need to be looking for areas that they need help in the future. So again, like I said, think about all the things to talk about, listen deeply to see where you can help. One of the big areas where people may need help is in accountability, in knowledge, in motivation, right? So not only are they going to realize that you're a great resource to have in their fitness, right? Not only are they going to realize the workout is better with you, but now they trust you and they like you and they believe in you, and you can still say, hey, you said this, and that. You said the hardest thing has been to be consistent, right? That's why I said if you have a good consultation, you have the information that you need. So if you have a good consultation, somewhere along the consultation, you ask them about how consistent they've been, how often they go to the gym, what's the longest that they've been on a fitness routine, what are the best results they've ever been able to achieve on their own. You would have asked these questions because you want to know about them, and that usually provides you an in to the reason why they need a trainer. So if when you ask them somewhere along the conversation, what's the most consistent you've been? What do you think is holding you back from being more consistent? Now at the end, you can say, hey, you know how you mentioned you have a hard time being consistent? I think if you had a personal trainer, that's the last missing piece for you. The trainer would keep you consistent, and we can go over, fixing your knee, go over more foam rolling techniques, go, transfer from endurance strength training to hypertrophy strength training, right? Take you all the way. And so I really believe I can take you all the way. And these are some plans if you're interested in signing up for coaching. And again, if everything is flowing, then that presentation will flow too, because it'll be exciting, it'll be informative, it'll have purpose and reason, and they will flow right into it. And if they had a great experience, they're going to say, you know what? Let me go for it. I really like what we're doing here. Let's try it. And now we can get into that personal training and signing up for that personal training. Right. So, but again, today's question was about what do I do when they don't tell them that this is happening? And just to summarize, the best thing you can do is to let them know that sometimes they don't tell them, and you can apologize about that. I'm so sorry. Sometimes they don't tell you, but this is, and then make it a very valuable thing. That's another thing. Instead of making it awkward, let them know this is a very valuable thing that we give people, right? If you want, you can add even more value to it by providing them like a little bundle. Now, again, this is a bit of an investment, but you can have maybe a little water bottle with a towel or with a protein bar, right? So when they come in, you say, "Hey, this is for you. This is all part of your membership." And along with the little goodie bag is also a conversation so that I can answer your questions about your goals, about your fitness, about anything that you're worried about. And now, instead of phrasing it as a, oh, you're here to sign up for training maybe, or you're here to try training out. Now we flipped it and it's all about giving them as much value as possible. But obviously, you just have to follow through with that and give them as much value. And then you can just transition into your personal training sales anyway, right? Once you give them some value, now you can show them what you got, take them through that workout, present to them personal training and the opportunity to get results through training. And that's how you kind of merge the two. But the biggest thing I can say is communication, communication, communication. Answer the questions that are in that person's mind that they may not even be asking, right? That's mastery of sales, of marketing, all those things, is to understand that as humans, sometimes we have things in our mind that we're not even really aware of, right? Like that person, just like you said in your question, right? Like they don't know what's going on. And so put yourself in their shoes, right? They're like, what is this? So if you know that they're confused, talk about the confusion. Talk about, I'm sorry they didn't tell you. Tell them what this is about. Tell them that it's included. Tell them the value that they're going to get from it. This isn't one last point I'll make. Let them know the phases and how long each phase takes so that they know that there's an out. That's another great way to put people at ease, right? So tell them how long it should take. So you can say, hey, it's just 10 minutes for me to answer questions. And if we get a good routine, you also have 10 minutes of a workout with me. And if you really want to make them put at ease, you can say, we have 10 minutes of consultation and then we have another 20 to 30 minutes of exercise. However you want to do the time. That doesn't matter, right? So let's try to do a realistic one. Okay. We have so part of your consultation is 10 to 15 minutes of getting answers to your questions, figuring out your nutrition, figuring out your workout plan, figuring out your strengths and weaknesses, and just answering any questions you have about the gym, equipment, movements, things like that. So the first part, it's 10 to 20, 10 to 15 minutes, and you can just ask any questions. I may ask some to make sure that you are on the best path. And once we do that, there is also a free 30-minute workout with me as well to kind of show you those moves. You're welcome to opt out of that after our consultation, but I would say take advantage of it. It's part of your consultation, it's part of your membership. And based on what we talk about, we're actually going to make that workout. We're going to create that workout specifically on your goals and all the things that we talk about during the first 15 minutes. So it's actually a cool experience. You get to see a workout based on what we talk about and again, like I said, it's part of your consultation. You might as well take advantage of it. But if you feel the need to opt out, you may do that as well. So I may do something like that if I really feel like I want them to feel comfortable. I know they don't know about this, and now when they get pulled into the consultation, they're not going to want to opt out of the workout. They're going to want to see what this is about. Right. But again, the point of what I'm saying is learning more than anything. I don't care how you phrase it or if it's 15 and 15, if it's 20 and 30, the time doesn't matter. You don't have to say they can opt out of it if you don't want. But the point that I'm trying to make is you need to learn to always explain what's next. That helps people be at ease. They're not going to be surprised anymore. So maybe they were surprised when they met you, but don't let them stay confused. Don't let them keep wondering when they can get out of here. Let them know it's only a few minutes. You can opt out of this, or it's only a few minutes. This is the purpose. The biggest thing, you guys, from today's conversation is learning to let people know and answering the questions that are in the back of their mind that they may not be saying, right? Talk about the elephant in the room, and it's going to put everyone at ease, right? Also, learning to read body language. Maybe they really don't want to do this, right? But that's why I said, in order to figure that out, or I guess because some people are not going to initially be into it, your mission is to get them into it. And the best way to do that is again to have open and honest conversation, to answer the questions, but to also have a consultation that is so beneficial to them that they want to participate in it. They want to have this conversation because this conversation may have the solution to the problem that they have. And so you as a coach need to think that way. Don't think about the workout. Think about the issues that they need to work through and realize I am a resource to them. I hold that information, right? And also I hold the workout information. So not only am I going to have a real conversation about real topics, I'm also going to take them through a workout and make sure that that workout makes sense according to their consultation. Now, what I'm talking about here, you guys, is something that sometimes we don't even understand how it works because most trainers have never even thought about matching the consultation with the workout. I can't get into that right now, but just if you're sharp, you'll get it and you'll apply it. I don't have to explain it to you very much. Based on that conversation, you should also make the workout make sense. So if they mention that their back hurts when they do it, talk about that. Talk about how to work around it. Talk about how to avoid it. Talk about how to make it better. Show them how to make it better or how to avoid it or how to work around it. And now you're matching it all. It all makes sense. They walk away with value. And then boom, you present them the opportunity to work with you. And if they respect you, if they're excited about how much information you know, the sign up process should be easy. It's difficult because we didn't answer any questions, because we didn't ask any good questions, because our workout didn't make sense, because they don't see the value in that workout. They think it's just a workout. But when they can see, oh, this workout makes sense according to my specifications, now you've increased the odds of them signing up. If you talked about the elephant in the room and didn't continue to make it awkward, you didn't force it, you told them exactly what was going to happen and why, and you gave them value, then it's not weird. People want to participate in this. It's going to flow a lot better, but you have to have open and honest discussion, conversation, talk about everything, and again, make it of value for that individual. That's the most important thing. Now, that is your homework. I'm not going to give you all the answers, but I hope that from everything that we've talked about today, you can sit down and go, okay, how do I come up with good questions, good answers, good information, a good process, maybe a goodie bag to give them something where they feel like, wow, this is something that I really want to participate in, right? That's the thing that you're trying to figure out. How do you get them to want to participate in it? And how do I communicate with them honestly and effectively so that they know what this is about, they know why it's important, and they know what they're going to get out of it? And if you can do all of that, then that person's comfortably going to go through the whole process because, again, they are getting something out of this process. That's the big thing. We go into it wanting something from them. Switch that. Go in giving them something, and they more likely than not will give you something back, right? It's the rule of reciprocity. This is also a thing in sales. I've talked about it in previous episodes. The rule of reciprocity. If you give them enough value, you increase the chances that they're going to want to, give something back to you. They're probably going to sign up for a package or give you a referral or something because you were so helpful and kind and honest with them, right? So it's very, very simple, but you can't keep thinking the way that we normally think about this consultation, right? Think about the word consultation, because this is another thing that we do. It's a big pet peeve of mine. We say consultation, really, we mean is a free butt kicking, right? I'm calling you guys out. A lot of you trainers, that's all you do. Oh, come in for your consultation, come in for an assessment. And there is no consultation, there is no assessment. You're not assessing anything other than how close they are to throwing up. Let's be honest. So if you can just change your ways, you're going to increase instead of doing it the same way and hoping that there's some magic answer, some magic word, some magic sentence that's just magically going to get them to want to do this. No, it's about giving them proper value and giving them exactly what these words mean. A consultation should be a consult, and an assessment should have some level of assessing. And if you can do that, then you're going to be on the right track instead of calling it something and then doing something else. Can't tell you how many people have signed up with me that have literally said, I went to the gym, they told me they were going to show me how to use the machine, and all they did was make me do burpees and box squats. And I still don't know how to use the machines. And I go, okay, well, this machine works like this. This is the setting. This is about how many reps you want to do. And by the way, what's your goal? Oh, I want to do this. Okay, good. Now this machine has another setting. Da 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 da. And by the way, how's your diet going? Da 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 da. Oh, you probably need a little bit more water in that diet. Oh yeah. Let me show you this other machine. Da 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 da. So anyway, how consistent have you been? Have you been seeing results on your own? Oh, honestly, Sam, I haven't. Oh, that's interesting. Anyway, this machine works like this. Uh, you know what? From what we said, why don't you try a workout with me? I think we can work something. Okay. You know what? Yeah, you helped me. You gave me the answers to the machines that I needed. And now I believe that you're going to help me with my fitness. And it's so much easier, right? So you see how in that example, I'm giving them something, right? They wanted to learn to use the machines, but I also was asking questions because I'm still doing my job. I'm a personal trainer. I need to figure out how to help this person because if I just show this person how to use the machines, but they still don't know how to lose weight or how to get strong, it doesn't matter. But at the same time, I have to respect their question. They said, how do you use these three machines? I can't just go, well, forget about those machines. They're not going to help you lose weight anyway. I can't do that. I have to give them the answer. This is how you use this machine. By the way, let's talk about nutrition. This is how you use this machine. By the way, how's your consistency coming along? This is how you use the third machine. By the way, if you do this, it might not work the muscles that you want. Which muscles do you want? Oh, let me show you another exercise that I think would be better. And now I answered their questions and I still inserted myself in as a professional in the area of weightlifting, fitness, health, diet, and things like that. So I hope you guys get something out of that. Thank you so much, Kirsten, for sending that question. And that's a great question. I don't know if my answer actually does it justice because that is such a good question. Something that happens so much at the gym. When I read this question, I thought, damn, that's sharp. Like that's so good. I can't believe I missed this in all the time we've been doing the podcast. Such a good question that you sent in. So um thank you for sending in your question, you guys. We are back. We should be rolling again. You know, new setting, but podcast, personal trainer hustle. We're still doing it. Obviously, we got YouTube. Um, so if you guys want to see my mug as we do this, it's the same message, same exact episode. Um, but it's just me sitting here talking to you guys. So send in your questions. Check out personaltrainerhustle.com to send in your question. Personal Trainer Hustle Pod on the YouTube. I usually link it on the podcast episodes. But yeah, you guys send in your questions to personaltrainerhustle.com and we will turn it into an episode. And let's get back into it. Let's get a groove back. So I appreciate everyone for listening, for leaving those 5-star reviews. Always, just motivates me to keep doing it. That when you guys leave your reviews, when you guys send in your questions, it's it reminds me like we're really doing this. We're all really participating. We're all really listening and learning. So let's keep that up. Send in your questions and leave some reviews. And I'll talk to you guys soon.